So tell us about you. Tell us about you.
From the very,
Tell me who you are. You're not defined by your disability, so
I'm
who
not,
are you first?
but I mean, who I am is kind of started from the beginning, but I'm an adopted child. I was born in late 81, and my parents couldn't have kids, and they turned to adoption, and I was their second child. And was a healthy baby until the age of about 2.5, and my mom noticed this weird sensation on my shoulders, warm, hot to touch. It really worried her. Took me to the doctor, got a biopsy. He diagnosed it as infantile fibromatosis, which is a form of cancer. And she took me to a second opinion, another guy to get a second opinion. He said the same thing. And that doctor is the one that did the amputation and removed my arm because he said that's what had to be done. And it turns out after radiation, everything we went through, we thought, I was cancer-free, I was going to be, fine, no issues. 6 months after the arm came off, my parents got a phone call from doctor number one, the first doctor who diagnosed me, and said to my parents that Ashley has FOP. Basically, this disease is progressing so quick. There's nothing we can do to her, and she might live to see her 5th birthday. We can't guarantee any of that, but I was 3.5 at that time, and since then my parents adopted another little girl. So my little sister came into our life when I was about 4.5. My parents really thought they were losing me. Until I was about 5, my parents met a woman with my condition who was in her 30s and knew this was not a death sentence. They knew I was not going to be gone anytime soon. And I had a great childhood. My parents raised me just like their other kids. I was one of the normal kids. I didn't have a physical handicap disability. I ran out and played with the kids and did what I wanted to do, and there was no special treatment. If I got in trouble, I got in trouble, and mouth washed out with soap just like the others. And my middle school years, just like everybody else, was the worst. I hated it. I hated myself, my life, but now talking to other kids, about their young life, they all hated it too, whether they had an issue or not. So I knew I wasn't any different then. At the time, I thought it was, just because I was different. And what else? I was shy back then, really reserved. I did not want to talk to anybody, do anything, and just a very different young child. I hated talking to people I didn't know. I just very secluded in my own little world and had my few friends. And
what made you become more outgoing?
When I was 19, I was at a big, I say big, it really wasn't that huge, but we had a FOP symposium up in Philadelphia, and I was probably almost 20 at the time. I just around the age of 19, and my mom said to me one day, she's like, hey, get a group of your friends and just go down the block and go out to eat. And everybody with FOP, 90% of them are already in wheelchairs. Some are standing wheelchairs, some are sitting, some most of them are in wheelchairs. So I went around to each table that night around our little group, and I was like, hey, try to get everybody to go out to eat. And that was my opening to kind of do stuff and be of that caliber, where before I just would just not even do anything and just stay in the hotel with my mom and not go out. But we had 20 kids between the ages of 12 and 18, all different forms of wheelchairs, walking 3 blocks down the street in downtown Philadelphia to go to a restaurant, and that just kind of opened that door. And since then, I've just been a different person. So,
are you I know you, I don't know anybody else with FOP, so I consider you to be the face of FOP, the FOP ambassador of sorts.
Correct.
Is that what you are?
Yeah, I know it's not the best way, but I'm kind of like the poster adult child.
Okay.
So, I'm not the poster child because I'm an adult, but my story is out there. I've shared my story on numerous TV shows and newspaper articles and magazine articles. They just sent me to Russia to meet a girl with FOP because she never met anybody. She came across my article online and it's like, I want to meet this girl. So Russia flew me over to meet her because she's not met anybody since.
And how was that for you and her?
It was a great experience for both of us. So for me, it made me realize how blessed I am to live in America and have a family that can take care of me and have the means to take care of me. Over there in Russia, it's so far back in time where they still don't accept people with disabilities because that mentality, they think it's either, you're going to catch it, or it's just their mind frame is so different, where she's been in a home since she was 20 because she has her family can't take care of her in their little shack. They don't even have indoor plumbing where they're at. They have like an outhouse. So, and she's in a wheelchair head to toe, can't move anything. She needs full care, a lot of care. And like I know if I get to that state, I'll be taken care of here. Where over there, it's heartbreaking to see somebody, that loves life and loves where she's at, but yet in a home with other kids, other adults with physical disabilities because their families can't take care of them. Because it's just not the way it is over there.
Now you're with your, is it called an illness or a disease?
I say illness more than disease.
Okay. With your illness, is it, if I'm not mistaken, you could wake up one day and another piece of your body is affected, frozen. Okay. Is that correct?
Yeah, it can happen overnight. It can happen over time. There's no idea when the beast is going to wake and take what's left of my good hand or what's left of my good leg or even my jaw. I'm 33 this year and my jaws are still mobile. I know a 10-year-old whose jaws are fused shut.
Okay.
He can't even open his mouth because it's affected his jaws already.
And do you live each day with that fear?
No.
No.
If I'm in pain, like my good leg was giving me trouble back in January, and that scared me because I'm like, that I know that pain, I know it can happen. And for a little while, I was worried that I would lose mobility and I'd have to be in that wheelchair more than I am now. But eventually the pain went away, I got off all my meds, and somehow it didn't do what it was supposed to do, and it's not that time yet. So you can't live in that fear.
Right.
So my family wishes I would, and like slow down and not travel and do what I do, but I can't. This life's too short. You can't just do the what ifs. Oh, if I walk outside, I might, fall down and get hurt. Well, I could get hit by a bus. You don't know.
Right. Now the leg that is frozen, is that in pain?
No.
So
and it was going through when it went through the beginning stages of the shingles. It was an awful pain off and on for a year. But now it's just pain-free. I'm not on any narcotics, nothing. So it's just, it did what it did, and once that pain went away, it stopped.
And you're one of 800 in the world.
There's 800 known cases.
How many in the U.S.?
Less than 300 in the United States that we know of.
And they don't know what causes it?
It's a deformed gene. They
Okay.
found the gene, and whatever gene it is, I can get it later, but it's a mutated gene. It's just turned the wrong way, and that's what causes this condition.
Okay, and with hopes of there ever being a cure?
Right around the corner.
It is?
They're supposed to start human trials this summer. They're that close.
Okay, and they let's say tomorrow they find it. What does that do? It doesn't undo any damage, right?
There's not 100% guarantee, but my doctor he doesn't give false hope, and he said, like, I will be able to raise my hand again. Like, once there's that cure and he can go in and fix the damage that's been done, because it's not affected so much, I will be able to get mobility back.
Okay.
But my leg, because of the way that's affected, probably not, but we don't know yet.
Wow.
But if it can happen and I have to go to therapy and get it going again, it's worth it.
Right.
It's worth to get away from that stupid shoe and walk on grass again, walk on uneven ground, So.
Of all the issues, what would you want undone most?
My leg, for sure.
Your leg?
Just to get rid of that. My arm's been off and on. It's been pretty much my whole lifetime. I don't really remember not being able to touch my head. So I remember, a little bit. I know I was able to walk before that shoe. So to not worry about getting out of bed and putting my shoe on every day. Like, it's become a habit, but yet not to have that. Just walk on uneven ground, just anything, and walking up a flight of stairs without having to do one little step at a time would be important.
Okay, but you surf.
I do surf.
Tell me.
A little differently than that normal person, but my guys, when they take me out surfing, they literally pick me up and lay me on the surfboard and stand with me surfing, on top of me. So it's just, and the way I'm facing the ocean, so I can see the wave we're riding. And
wait, you're facing the ocean.
like I'm facing the wave.
Oh, I love it.
Because my head is facing, literally the back of my head's facing the beach. So I'm watching the way go right.
Love it. Now, have you considered doing a helmet cam for that?
I haven't done it yet, but it would be really cool. Like usually my friend lays a GoPro like at my head angle, so it's facing me, so getting from that angle. But nobody's ever done it from my angle where I'm laying on the board.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
It's an angle that most surfers don't even.
Nobody does. I get a whole different perspective.
Wow.
Wow. Really cool.
And what else do you do that would shock me?
I mean, I travel by myself. But,
Ride horses? Can you? Have you?
I mean, I've not done horses. I don't know with my leg if I could straddle, and I don't. Sideways would be really awkward. I'm trying to think.
You were married.
I was married.
Yeah. Is that something you want to talk about or no?
I mean, it's not like a sore subject. We married young, and we were stupid and young and in love, and we didn't think we were who we
Okay,
were
so
married.
nothing to do. It was not made more difficult because of the physical challenge.
I think eventually he probably would have if I got worse.
Yeah.
Knowing him and knowing the kind of guy he was, because we were married at 20, divorced by 23.
Yeah.
Like
So was I.
We were young.
Yeah.
But I think if I did get worse eventually, if we were together, I think it wouldn't have surprised me. But
Right.
I also prepared myself for that, because if we were together and I did get worse and he walked out, I set myself up for that just so I wouldn't be more heartbroken if one day he walked out.
Right. Now is the I guess what we're going to call the not the onset, but the onset of the next episode.
Okay.
Is that inspired by anything? Is it stress? Is it
can be
fatigue? Is it?
I mean, trauma triggers it, but it's also people waking up with no injury and have been immobilized.
Got it.
So I'm like, the older I get, the more paranoid my family gets. Like, my family wants me to just kind of take it easy and not go traveling and go surfing and do what I do, but I can't sit at home and play that what if game. It's not, like, it's a risk I have to take and I'll have to live with if something happens, but that way at least I did it. Not just staying home 24/7. And back home, everybody I know my age is married with kids, they have jobs, they have that life. I don't. So I make my life that I love and makes me happy, where it's not, the best, what's maybe not what my family wants from me, but I love it and I'm not going to stop.
In your book, do you want to tell your story? What do you hope to accomplish with a book about you?
I mean, just share my story, just kind of what I've done, and the few articles I've done and stuff like that, just like the little blurb of my story, but just share everything kind of, and also it's something I can look back on and reread a million times and just remind myself of what my life was like, just because I never did keep a diary or whatever, and I'm not a good blogger, which I need to get back into, but just help kids and adults and parents and anybody that needs something what I want to share of my life.
So is your life a happy life or a sad life? Would you change things? Why?
I'd say my life is a happy life, and I mean, I wouldn't change things because everything I've been through now is me knowing who I am, and I'm okay. This is the me I know and love, where if something was changed, whatever it could be, I would be a totally different person.
Right.
And, it might be a different person, but it wouldn't be where I'm at now.
Right.
So, I even met the Dalai Lama. I mean, nobody gets to meet the Dalai Lama, so.
Tell me about that.
It was incredible. Back in 2007, a friend of mine came to Atlanta. She donates a lot of money to my disease group, and she's just been a great lady. And she's a real big Buddhist. She follows them. And she called up one Sunday afternoon. It's like, Ashley, dress up. You and your mom come to Atlanta. You're gonna have a meal with the Dalai Lama. You might not get to talk to him, but you'll be in the room with him and get to hear him speak. And she gave us her tickets. So literally from where I'm sitting, he was where that red rug is, right there behind you. We were that close. I had her table. And she paid a lot of money to get that table.
Yeah.
And my mom and I were at her table, they were in the back, and he gave his great hours to talk about, he's just the sweetest, darling little old man, and it was a great experience listening to him talk about just, family and, their religion and everything in between he was talking about. But he was excusing himself because he had to go to bed. Wherever he travels in the world, he keeps on his schedule because he gets screwed up if he doesn't. So it was like 7, 8 o'clock at night. He excused himself. He went to walk down the ramp. Instead of going towards the door, which was all the way in the other direction, he made a U-turn and came walking to our table. And he stopped at our table and talked to me. And I'm like, my mouth, I'm like, I cannot believe this even happened.
Hello, Mr. Llama.
And it was just like, he embraced me and he looked behind me to talk to my mom and asked her what happened. So it's just like kind of that mentality where, you're not sure if like he maybe didn't know I could speak, I don't know. But I answered right away. I didn't even let my mom talk. And we just had like 5 minutes and it felt like hours. It felt like it was just, we were in that moment. And he kept giving me hugs and embraced me and said a little prayer for me. And at the end, he's like, thank you. And I'm like, no, thank you. He thanked me at the end of that. And everybody at our table was crying in tears because it was so emotional and amazing.
Incredible. Is that the biggest moment in your life, or is that?
As far as meeting somebody, yes.
Okay.
But surfing is the best. Like each time I go out, it's just as amazing as the first time. But the first time I'll never forget. And from that surfing event, the guys that took us surfing, I have lifelong friends. Like I never would have met them if I didn't go surfing. And one of them is my best friend now, and he's a musician too. He wrote a song about me that we sang on Russian TV together. He and I sang the song. It's called "Beautiful Creature" to my friend Alyssa on stage.
No, you said he's a musician too.
He's a surfer, like he's...
Okay, you're not a musician?
No.
Okay, I didn't know.
My friend came from a family of surfers, so surfing is like his first love. But he's a musician at heart, too.
Yeah.
And he just wrote me a song, it's called "Beautiful Creature." It's kind of about our friendship and how like that evolved, but it's just an amazing song where I listen to it all the time, and it just makes me think of surfing and our friendship and everything, and it's really cool.
So that would be the theme song to the movie?
It would be, for sure.
Do you have a title for your book?
Not yet.
No?
I need, I've been brainstorming, but I need something that says Ashley that's catchy or just...
It will happen. A lot of times you write it, and the title appears.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't stress about that.
Yeah.
Is the disease hereditary?
Yes.
It is. Mm-hmm. So if you had children...
They say it's 50-50, but the very few people that have had kids, the majority of them, the percentage is pretty high that kids have it.
Would you have children?
I wouldn't, because for me, if I find that special person to share my life with, that man, it's going to be hard enough with my issues helping take care of me daily, whether it's him or we have live-in help or whatever. I don't want to add kids to that. Kids are hard enough as it is anyway without my issues. So I would just be happy having that special companion and a husband where as long as he was okay not having kids, I'd be fine.
Yeah.
Unless he already had kids, I'm fine with that. But having my own or even adopting, it's too hard.
Yeah.
So I can't even be left alone with my sister's 6-month-old because I can't hold him and take care of him.
Okay.
So it's not for me, and I wouldn't physically have kids because with my issues, I'd be worried that I wouldn't be able to carry to term, and it's a whole nother mess.
Right.
But my niece and nephew, they live 10 minutes down the road, and I see them 5 days a week. So at least I get my kid fixed, and then I can send him home when I want him for.
Most awkward question you've been asked in public, unless this was just it.
Actually, the most awkward one, and at first I didn't think it was funny, but now I laugh about it, but was I a conjoined twin.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it happened one time. And we were at a trade show, similar, and probably in this building a couple years ago, one of my dad's trade shows. Maybe at Georgia Tech, I don't know. But he asked me, he's like, I got a question. I'm like, what? He's like, were you a conjoined twin? I'm like, that's a first, and that's awesome, but no.
Wow.
So,
interesting.
Yeah.
Anything else to add?
Not right now.
Okay.